As you can see from the title, this video is going to be geared towards the women or guys that prefer feminine leaning scents. Not excluding anybody, so guys, if you want, you can still pay attention so you can do something special for the lady in your life. But this is a video I've been wanting to make for a very long time. So ever since I started this channel, I've gotten a few questions on what I'd recommend for females. So I asked one of my good friends, who is also a collector, to give me her top scents that are affordable for women. So out of our hundreds of bottles of collections, she gave me these 7 over the weekend. I spent some time with them, studied them, and formulated my thoughts on them. So keep in mind, these are top 7 affordable scents from a female collector, but ranked from a guy's perspective. And so I'm ranking them from rank 7 to 1. And the number 1 on this list is the one I would most like to smell on a woman. Number 7 is also good. Mind you, this is top 7 of hundreds of bottles. So even the 7th rank one, in my opinion, is just the least favorite out of these 7. So all these bottles are good and all of them are affordable and they're all geared towards women. And so with that intro out of the way, let's get right into it. Alright, so I put this at number 7. Not a bad scent at all, but out of the 7, this is my least favorite. This is Coral from the House of Latafa. It's one of the Anna Abied collection. So this fragrance to me, it smells good, but I'm not a fan of the overly floral nature of this. What this has is watermelon, peach, fruity, and you get some hints of coconut. And at the base, you mainly get vanilla. It's a little musky, and I think ambery as well. You can find this on discounters for anywhere between $25 to $40. Yeah, I'd say this is a cooling, refreshing scent for the summer because it has that cooling effect from the watermelon. But overall, just think of a floral, fruit-forward scent with some coconut, some vanilla and musk at the base, and also a little bit ambery as it dries down. Yeah, so not bad overall, but out of the 7 that she's given me and that I've studied, I would say Coral is listed at number 7 for me. Okay, at number 6, we have Tiramisu Caramel from the House of Zimaya. So just as the name suggests, this fragrance is gourmand. What you get out of this is a very sweet, edible vanilla, caramel, honey, somewhat powdery and woody fragrance. And at the base, you get some booze with a little bit of musk. And you can find this from trusted discounters for anywhere from $30 to $50. This is good. So what jumps out at you is vanilla, honey, and then it just tastes like a tiramisu cake made with whiskey. I'm not getting too much chocolate. What I'm actually getting is caramel, vanilla, honey, whiskey. This is a very well blended gourmand fragrance. For the price you're paying, this is really good. So I think this also, I'm not sure which one came first. There is that Latafa Eclair. It smells just like this. I'm not sure which one inspired the other, but I'll say they both bear a resemblance to Bianco Latte. So once again, Tiramisu Caramel from the House of Zimaya at number 6. Okay, so I'm ranking this at number 5, and that's Club de Nuit Imperial. So this bottle is supposed to be inspired by Parfum de Mali's Delina and Delina Exclusive. This, if you don't like rose, run from this. To me, it's sort of a creamy, somewhat incensey type of rose. The vibes I get from this is a powerful, well-established bosswoman that probably is the CEO of a company. So looking at the notes here, you get some lychee, bergamot, nutmeg, and then in the middle, you get Turkish rose, vanilla, peony, some musk, and on the base, that's where you get the incense, cashmere, cedar, and vanilla. Yeah, so on paper, what you're getting is that rose coming through, and I'll describe this as just rosy, creamy, powdery, and fresh. Yeah, I'd say this scent profile is for ladies, maybe in their early 30s and up. Anything younger than that, you better come with confidence when you put this on. Imperial, Club de Nuit. Alright, my number 4 ranking is Opulent Dubai from the House of Latafa. Alright, so even from the color scheme of the bottle design, you can sort of tell what this was inspired by. And as you may or may not know, there's another popular one called Vulcan Feu. Both are inspired by God of Fire, but my friend told me she prefers this one to Vulcan Feu, and I kind of have to agree with her. Now that might not be fair to Vulcan Feu because I didn't spend as much time with it as I did with this bottle, but this scent profile on a woman is absolutely sexy. There's just something about the tropical nature of that mango mixed with ginger and grapefruit that draws you in initially, and as the scent trail goes on, you start to get those floral vibes from it as well. Let's spray some on the blotter. Oh, this smells so good. Now, this is supposed to be unisex, but in my opinion, this leans feminine. I would not wear this. Maybe a younger guy would wear this, but in my opinion, I feel like this is a little bit more feminine leaning. So the notes here are mango, grapefruit, lemon, ginger. In the middle, you're getting jasmine, violet, cedarwood, and the base notes, oak moss, ambergris, benzoin, and woodsy notes. Now that being said, the vibes you're going to get from this is like a tropical mango, citrusy, fresh, somewhat woody and floral scent. And that scent profile is absolutely sexy on a female. This is really good and refreshing for the summer because of the cooling effect from the citrus. And I would say if you like mango, fruity, tropical fragrances, this is an absolute gem. I absolutely recommend this. Opulent Dubai from the House of Lattafa. All right, we're now in the top 3 and coming in at number 3, Shaghaf Oud Tonka from the House of Swiss Arabian. All right, so the scent profile you're getting from Oud Tonka is this sweet vanilla mixed with smoky tonka bean and almonds. And so for me, any scent profile that combines vanilla with tonka bean just makes for a very sexy experience. And that's what this delivers. This only runs you about $40 to $50 on discounters. So there aren't too many notes here. At the top you have almonds, then in the middle you have orange blossom, rose, cinnamon, and in the base you have that tonka bean, vanilla, and amber wood. So think of this fragrance as a sweet vanilla, somewhat ambery, nutty, and fruity, but what comes at you initially is just straight up almond, vanilla, sweet, and very nutty. So me personally, I love vanilla, but having vanilla that leans slightly female is even sexier to my nose. So ladies, if you're trying to get attention from your man and you're trying to smell like a snack, Shaghaf Oud Tonka from Swiss Arabian. At number 2, we have Artisan Ethnique from the House of Lattafa. This is weirdly starting to sound like a Lattafa list. I don't know why she gave me most of her Lattafa bottles, but that's the thing, Lattafa does a great job and their bottles are very affordable. But I promise you it's not intentional. Anyway, so Artisan Ethnique is a boozy, sugary, caramel, somewhat smoky type fragrance that is inspired by Sugar Addict from the House of Born to Stand Out. Now that one is going to run you around $250 to $300, but this is anywhere from $35 to $40, maybe $50 at discounters. Let me smell this while I talk to you about the notes. Right off the bat, you're getting like booze, and it's very sugary, caramel, vanilla, maybe some smokiness from the tonka bean. You also get this sort of coniferous sort of accord as you go through the scent profile. Very well done, very well blended. Again, Lattafa, they're doing their thing. I don't know how they're making these things to be so cheap. So the notes on this, at the top you're getting rum, cinnamon, sugar, middle notes, caramel, cacao, coffee, oak moss, base notes, vanilla, cashmere wood, tonka bean, and labdanum. And Lattafa has done a great job taking inspiration from Sugar Addict and making that a much cheaper, affordable fragrance and bottling it up in Artisan Ethnique. All right, coming in at number 1, we have Angham from the House of Lattafa. Now, Angham was inspired by Burberry Goddess, and Goddess will run you around maybe $200, whereas this is only about $40. So while I was playing with this over the weekend, I was getting sort of like a fresh, spicy opening from the ginger, and then it's mixed with this sweet vanilla that comes out, and then you get some lavender, which gives it an overall fresh, spicy sort of opening. And then as you start to go through the fragrance, that lavender starts to open up even more, and you start to get that powdery feel, and then you get some white florals, and then at the base, you're getting straight up musk, amber, and vanilla. So the notes in this are ginger, mandarin, pink pepper. In the middle, you're getting lavender, jasmine, cacao, praline, and the base, like I said, will be amber, musk, and vanilla. Yeah, I'd say this is very well blended, very sexy and fresh at the same time. And Lattafa knocked it out of the park. In my opinion, this is Burberry Goddess, but even better. So yeah, once again, this is Angham from the House of Lattafa. Alright, so that concludes this video, but since we talked mostly about Middle Eastern or Arabic fragrances, I would like to say a couple of things about them. Now, a lot of Middle Eastern fragrance houses, because of the demand and the amount of bottles they put out each day, a lot of their fragrances don't get time to macerate. Maceration, what does that mean? Maceration is when the fragrance oil has already been mixed with alcohol and you let it sit in a cool, dry place without disturbing it for a while. Now, there's a difference between maturation and maceration. Maturation is when the fragrance oil itself matures before mixing it with alcohol, and maceration is where it's already been mixed in the liquid and it's sitting for a while before disturbance. Now, some fragrances might take longer, some may not, some may be good right out of the box, but this is what I do personally to get the full effect of the fragrance. Only because I've noticed this higher demand on Middle Eastern fragrances, and I've noticed these houses pumping out fragrances daily and not really letting the fragrance to mature or macerate before selling. Alright, so I hope that explains maceration, and I also hope I did a good job explaining the difference between maturation and maceration. And please let me know in the comments if you end up picking up any of these fragrances, and let me know how you like them. And that being said, thanks again for watching. I'm the Nose. I'll see you in the next one. Woos.